Okay guys, so in this particular video we are going to talk about predicates of Xpath. Let's understand first what is predicate in general term, and then we will see how to write the predicates in Xpath. What is predicate is? Predicate is a where clause from a SQL query. Like this is a SQL query. Select star from student. So I want the record from student, but the specific one. I don't want all the records. I want the specific, either one or multiple, but specific ones having some criteria, right? So that we write using where clause, and where clause is called as predicate. So how does the where clause works? So first, database fetches all the records from the table, then it applies this condition to all those. The ones which satisfies the condition stays. The records which doesn't satisfy the written condition, they get thrown out of or get filtered out of the prospective record set to be returned. Okay, the one which the records which satisfies, they stay in the collection, and that collection ultimately gets returned to us. That is how the where clause works. So in the same way, in case of Xpath, I want to write a where clause predicate. So how to write? Let's understand. But before we start understanding how to write the predicates, let's understand this very important query. Again, we will understand it. We will do a revision of it. So bookstore slash book, what I'm telling it is that return me all the book child elements. This all is very important here. Return all child elements with the name book of bookstore. So this will return us all the book child elements from bookstore. But now if I want to have specific one, specific, not all, then what should I do? I should write a predicate, isn't it? So let's say if I say bookstore slash book, means first it will search for a bookstore element, then it will go in its child hierarchy, and it will only choose those ones from the child hierarchy, immediate child hierarchy. No, I'm not talking about child's child, only immediate childs with the name book. If this bookstore has the childs with some different name, that is handbook, it will not be considered for this query, because we are specifically saying return as childs of the name book. But don't give me all. It will first search all, and then it will filter out the ones which doesn't satisfy the condition we will write in the predicate. So predicate in Xpath is written inside the square brackets. So we can write here any predicate, any condition. So the book elements satisfying the condition will stay in the collection to be returned, and the others will get filtered out. Okay, so I can say here 1. So what does it mean? That give me the first book child element of bookstore. Like in this case, like let me remove this because it's not a child, right? Our book is not a child element, hence I am removing this bookstore underscore 1. Now our bookstore has got 3 child elements, 1, 2 and 3. And if I say in the predicate 1, so indexing it is, I am mentioning. So indexing in Xpath starts with 1. So that 1 index will return me this book element. If I say indexing as 2, it will return me the second child element of bookstore with the name book. Whatever is the second child element with the name book of bookstore would be returned to us. 3 will return me the third one, that way. Okay, now this is called, like when you mention the XPath. In the XPath predicate, you mention the indexes like this. These are the static XPaths because always the first one would be given to you. Okay, so I will just here say return first child element with the name book of bookstore. And I will also mention here this is an example of static XPath because the predicate you are mentioning here, you are hard coded mentioning the index. Now if you do like this, bookstore slash book and last is one of the function in XPath, last function. Now say right now I have 3 book elements inside a bookstore, so the last one would be the third one right now. But if I have got, say, if this is a dynamic data and due to some operations being carried out on the application, the book elements got added inside the bookstore. Say now 100 book elements are there inside bookstore, so 100th one would be the last one, right? So last one, I mean the node which would be returned to you depends upon what is how many book child elements you have in that bookstore. So it may different at different times if the data is dynamic, right? So that's why it is called as dynamic XPath, because the element which would be returned to you will not be always the same one. At different times you may get different element returned based on the current data what that bookstore contains. So this will return last child element with the name book of bookstore. Different element may get returned at different times, based on different element may get returned at different times based on data, right? So different element may get returned, hence it is a dynamic XPath. It is an example of dynamic XPath. Now let's write one more predicate. So if I say bookstore, now I want to get the book, the title of which is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. See, this is an requirement I have. So this title, so this Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish is what? This is a text of this title element, isn't it? Right? So this is a text. So let's create one simple query. I want a title element having so and so text. So I'll say / title, because I don't care who is the parent of this title and who all elements are on the parent hierarchy or prior to it. I don't care. Okay, I just want the title wherever it is present in my document, such title. So predicate a text of which. So how can you mention the text from an element? Using text function. So this will return you the text of an element, and you are checking that text of a title is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. So what it will return you? It will return you such a title element, a text of which is this one. This is how you can write a predicate based on the text of an element. Okay. Now if you say / title, now say you want to fetch a title element, such a title element, text of which contains a particular word. You are not interested in comparing the whole data. Okay, you want to just check the existence of a particular word. As long as that word is present in the text of that, you want to return it. Let's say there is one more book element or one more title element which has hungry as a text. I'll say like this. Now this will not return us this element. Why? Because we want the text to be exactly like this. So only this one would be returned to us. But if I say title contains, there is one function in Xpath called contains. Contains, first argument should be the source string, that is text, and the second one should be the existence of which you want to check in the source. So what I am telling is, I want such a title element, a text of which contains hungry word. So as long as the text of a title contains this hungry word, give me or return me those elements. So this will return us both this as well as this, because hungry is there in both the titles, right? Contains. Now if I say / title starts with, there is one more function called, usually these are few functions you need to know: last, then text, contains, starts with, and ends with. Starts with text function, what the text you want to start with. So let's say text starts with say state. So as long as this is present at the start of that text, you would be given that element. And ends with, these are few we need to know. Ends with, so where the text ends with particular word, foolish say. So as long as this foolish, okay, let me do it capital F. So it will return us that as long as the text ends with. Starts means the text should start from that word or letter, whatever, and ends with, where the text should end with that particular word or letter, right? So this is how you can write the predicates. So predicates will help you to filter out unnecessary elements, and it will help you in getting the required ones. Instead of getting all, you can get the specific set or a unique element based on the predicate. And one more very important, if I want the first three elements, first three child elements with the name book. So if I say book, but if I say 1, it will only return me the first one. 2, it will only return me second one. 3 will only return me third one. But I want first 3. So there is one more position function. So as long as position, so will return us first 3 child elements with name book of books. 3 child elements with name book or bookstore. So this position is very important. So as long as it will scan all the bookstore, all the immediate child shop bookstore with the name book. Name book is very important. So all the child elements with the name book would be taken, and the ones which are first 3, okay, first 3, or let's say first 2, let's make it first 2 because we have the 3 elements, so say 2. So first 2 means this one and this one would be returned to me and not the third one. But if I had written 1, then this would have only be returned to me. If I had written only this, second would have written to me, but I have written position less than equal to 2, so it will return me first 2. So this is also very important Xpath, right?